Back in Syracuse as the Crunch gets set for the Utica Comets. Final game of the week for the Crunch and the final game of this marathon month of March for Syracuse. On Countdown to Crunch Time presented by Supercuts, I'm Lukas Favale with Crunch head coach Ben Groulx. And Ben, it is the final game of a 3-game week for the Crunch. Wednesday in Belleville and then last night at home against the Providence Bruins. A 3-2 loss for the Crunch. What do you think of the performance last night?
Not much. We left a lot on the table in Belleville. Thought we shortened the bench in the third period. We went with 4D, sometimes 5D in Belleville, and we let a lot of emotion there. And we've been traveling a lot. It's not an excuse, but those are facts. And I was expecting the team to be to have a tough outing last night, but you know what? We face a very good team. Got to give Providence credit. They were skating. They were first on the puck all night. They controlled the game all night. Eddie gave us a chance to win. We stayed in that game. We missed an open net at the end. So you can look at this game as the glass half empty or half full. But for me, it's like we stayed in the game. We kept trying. Nothing was working our way, obviously. But overall, I think Providence deserved the game. They were the best team all night. And it's for us to turn the page. This is our last game. We all know what's Utica is all about. And that's another team that's playing for making the playoffs, so we got to expect Utica to be a good team, and for us to finish this month, we're 9-4-2 in this month, which is pretty good considering the fact that the schedule, the traveling, the players that we're missing and all that. It's pretty good, so let's finish on a good note here tonight.
And it's the Crunch and the Comets here tonight. And last night, you mentioned after the game, weren't skating, and we know it's kind of the theme. If the Crunch don't win, it's mainly because they're not skating. So got to be a pretty simple message, but easier said than done, I guess, in terms of getting the guys to be ready to skate every game.
Yeah, you know what? It's more mentally than anything else. I think we gave them the days off necessary for them to be not fresh, but to offer a better performance. It's more mentally than anything else, and it's for them tonight to push the reset button and to be ready to go.
And before the game yesterday, we heard some comments about Cruncher back home, like we mentioned, been on the road so frequently, and you couldn't take for granted being back at home and assuming that. I mean, the Crunch have been such a good home team all year. Can't assume though that that's going to take place and really roll over an opponent. So, what did you think in terms of it was no offense again in the first period in terms of production-wise? So, do you think that maybe there was that feeling of we're back home and it's just going to work out, or?
It's more about, I think, the mental side of the game. Like I said, we left a lot on the table in Belleville, and then I don't think we were ready for that battle last night. And it's for us to turn the page. That's it, and let's be ready for tonight.
It's the Crunch and the Comets here tonight on this Saturday night, final game of the week for the Crunch. 94 night Crunch will be throwing back the jerseys back to the original days in 1994. Crunch have a chance for their 900th franchise victory as well here tonight. We're on Countdown to Crunch Time presented by Supercuts with Crunch head coach Ben Groulx, and we mentioned this difficult schedule, and you're not going to use that as an excuse, obviously, and trying to get these guys as fresh as possible with 2 weeks to go now in the season. But it is the final game of the month, and like you mentioned, it's been a pretty productive month for the most part. But what has been maybe the biggest challenge of working through what has been 16 games down March?
It's more about again, I'm happy on one side and I'm a little bit disappointed on the other side, because there's a lot of opportunities for players out there, and it seems that they're not making the best out of it. Like we have defensemen that have an opportunity to play 20 minutes. It's now. It's right now. Tomorrow, it's too late. It's right now. We need that right now from them. And I feel that they're not making the best out of their chance. We gave forwards opportunities, and same thing. Like we need more scoring from our team. We need more scoring from our depth, and it's not coming. And when you rely only on 1, 2, 3 guys or on your power play, at one point this goes dry. And when it doesn't work, you need your depth. And right now, I think our depth is not scoring. And this is what bothered me a little bit. I feel there's a lot of opportunity out there for players to perform, to grab more ice time, to show us that, you know what, we're closer to the end of the season, we're getting ready, I'm ready for playoff, but it stays on the table. We don't see as much as we'd like to see, and hopefully tonight we're going to see something different, but I feel that if we rely too much on Conacher, Beregi, Barabule, and power play, we need more. Like Boris Tkachuk had a good game last night. It's for him to bring more consistency. I think we can have more from Radish. I think we can have more from Dennis Yan. We can have more from Russ Colton. We can have more from many guys in our lineup that got to contribute offensively to make this team more effective offensively. So it's an opportunity for them, and hopefully they'll get better and they'll start producing a little bit more.
And with now 2 weeks to go, plus tonight in the regular season, Crunch have obviously clinched a playoff berth. They did it last Saturday against the Comets, so it's still battling obviously for the division title and home ice advantage, at least in the first round of the playoffs. But do you use this last 2 weeks to maybe tinker and see what, as you build towards that playoff, if there's a combination that works or anything like that down the stretch here?
For us, we don't change our approach. It's one day at a time. And we want to be ready to play here tonight. We don't look ahead of the game tonight. And there's a lot of opportunity here for guys, and it's up to them to grab that ice time and make the best out of it.
And tonight it is the Utica Comets. It is the final home game against the Comets this year. Crunch beat them last Saturday 6-2. Obviously, like you mentioned earlier, no secrets between the teams. What do we expect here tonight?
Just like what you mentioned, like there's no secret. We know they're coming hard. They're a skating team. They move the puck. They play with a lot of grit. So it's for us to be ready to face that.
All right, we'll see what happens tonight as the Crunch take on the Utica Comets. This is Crunch head coach Ben Groulx. Ben, thanks for your time and good luck tonight.
All right, thanks.